All right, let's get right into it. The world of software development is in the middle of a massive shakeup, and I'm not just talking about AI that can write a few lines of code for you. No, this is about a fundamental redesign of the entire workforce. Mark this date down, February 4th, 2026. This is the day OpenAI officially fired the first shot in what we're calling the workforce war. They didn't just push a simple model update, they unleashed a manager in the form of a dedicated macOS app for Codex. This wasn't just a new feature, it was a declaration that the old way of building software is over. And we're calling it the workforce war for a very specific reason. This move by OpenAI wasn't just another product launch. It was a calculated, strategic play to completely change how software gets made, and maybe more importantly, who or what is making it. And the speed of this is just incredible. Think about the timeline. In mid-December 2025, the GPT 5.2 Codex model goes live and boom, usage doubles, just like that. Then, on February 2nd, the Mac app itself launches. And literally the very next day, Apple is on stage announcing its integration into Xcode. The momentum here is absolutely off the charts. You know, this new app is so much more than just a slick new interface for a chatbot. It is a complete shift in thinking. We've gone from a chatbot that happens to write code to a full-on command center. It's designed to manage an entire team of AI agents. It basically lets a developer hire a digital workforce for the price of a subscription. So let's be really clear about what this thing is. It's a tool built specifically to supervise a digital team. The human is no longer just pairing with one AI assistant to get a little help. Now, you're in charge, supervising a whole crew of agents across the entire project, from the initial design to the build, all the way through maintenance. Okay, so what's the magic trick that makes all of this possible? It's right here. In the past, trying to get multiple developers or AIs to work on the same code was a recipe for disaster. It's a thing developers call branch hell, where everyone's changes conflict and overwrite each other, and it's just a complete mess. The new way is something called isolated work trees. Just think of it like this. You're giving each AI agent its own private copy of the project, its own little office. They can't mess with each other's work. This means they can all go full speed on the same app at the same time without creating total chaos. So, what does your day-to-day look like now? Well, it's pretty simple and pretty powerful. Step 1, you delegate. You give your AI team a big, high-level task like, hey, build me the new user profile page. Step 2, they execute, working in parallel without stepping on each other's toes. Step 3, your job is to supervise. You just review their progress and changes in this nice, clean interface, a lot like how a manager would do a code review. And finally, when it's all perfect, you give it the green light and merge it in. See the shift? Your role just went from writer to editor, from coder to director. And this goes so far beyond just generating code. With skills, your agents can actually use other tools, like grabbing designs straight from Figma or updating tickets in Linear. With automations, you can schedule your AI team to sort through bug reports overnight while you sleep. You get this central dashboard to keep an eye on everything, a security sandbox to keep it all safe, and you can even pick the personality of your agents to best fit how you work. It's total orchestration. So, what's the business strategy? Well, OpenAI is being very clever here. They're making all these super powerful agent features free for a limited time. It's basically the ultimate gateway drug. The whole idea is to get millions of developers completely hooked on this new way of working. They want to tear down the traditional workflows and make sure the next generation of developers is AI native right from the beginning. Okay, so the vision is massive. The features are incredible. But how well does it actually work when the rubber meets the road? It's time to take a step back from the hype and look at some real-world performance data. This is pretty fascinating. A user on Reddit put the top models through their paces on actual real-world coding tasks. And check this out. For building a new feature, Google's Gemini 3 Pro was actually the fastest and the cheapest, and it worked. For a more complicated task, building an agent tool, Anthropic's Claude was the only one that actually managed to get it working, even if it had a few flaws. OpenAI's Codex in these specific tests actually kind of struggled. So why does that happen? Why do these unbelievably powerful models sometimes just fail? This quote really nails it. Large language models aren't built to find the truth. They're designed to create output that seems plausible and coherent. Their main goal is to be helpful. And sometimes, being helpful means guessing and getting it wrong. It's a fundamental limitation of how they're built, not just a simple bug. And that brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from all of this.
The fact that the AI isn't perfect doesn't mean it's useless. In fact, its real value isn't in replacing the human, but in completely transforming the human's role.
And there it is. The single most valuable skill is no longer about how well you can write boilerplate code. It's about high-level thinking, it's about strategy, and it's about architectural vision. Your new job title, effectively, is AI Agent Manager. So how do you actually manage an AI? Well, this is a perfect example. Developers are starting to create these agents MD files. Think of it like a standard README file, but you're writing it for your AI team. It gives them persistent, high-level instructions, like, this is our project's architecture, here are the commands you need to use, and follow these coding styles. You're basically writing the constitution for your digital workforce. And does this really make a difference? You bet it does. A recent study found that having a well-written agents.md file reduced the median time it took for an AI agent to finish a task by almost 30%. Just let that sink in for a second. This is the proof right here. Your value isn't just in the code you can write anymore. It's in providing that high-level strategic guidance that makes the entire AI team more effective. It's about clearly communicating your vision to your new team of agents. Now, you might be thinking this is some niche thing for a few early adopters, but you'd be wrong. This shift is already happening at a massive scale across the entire industry. Just look at these numbers from the biggest names in tech. Microsoft's CEO says 30% of their production code is already generated by AI, and Meta thinks they'll hit nearly 50% this year. Google's top scientist calls them virtual engineers. This isn't some far-off prediction. This is happening right now.
So what this really means is that every developer is now facing a choice. There are two paths forward. One path is to become a code janitor. That's the person who spends all their time cleaning up the messy, buggy code that unsupervised AI spits out. The other path is to become the high-level orchestrator, the person who designs the system, directs the AI workforce, and makes sure it all comes together. One is reactive, the other is creative and strategic. And that brings us to the final question. When AI is handling more and more of the actual coding, what is the skill that truly defines a great engineer? It's becoming less about the how and all about the what and the why. It's about vision, it's about architecture, and it's about the ability to lead a powerful and entirely new kind of workforce. That's the skill that's going to define the next generation of builders.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.